TN12, runway 1230, 3,000 feet. Plan to go on 1-2, I guess. It's loaded the magazines one at a time, basically, yeah. You wish your PC could run this. Well, maybe you get a console and run it when it comes out on console. It's probably a good option. How much income now? I've got 55k. I need double. Yeah, it said it was coming out on console from day one. There's no date yet. Right, we are tracking. Well, I can 100% guarantee it won't come out on the PS5. Microsoft will not release their flight sim product on a competitor's console. I can pretty much tell you hell would freeze over before they'll do that.
TOS system test. Okay.
Hudjana. Is that where we're going? TN12. Hudjana. Alright, beacon lights on. Even if ever end up with the game streaming service, don't need a high-spec PC. I don't know, there was talk about those streaming services, but I don't know what actually came with them. Albertus80, thank you very much for subbing. Yeah, they exist, but they're just... I don't know anybody that uses it, do you? Wow. The runway is basically a car park. Look at this. Yeah, if you could just taxi to the car park there, go round the white van, turn round, and then you can take off. Is that a clearance? Yes. Right. Prop forward. Oh, we're doing that thing again. Why is it being stupid? Seriously, why is it doing that? It's actually going completely nuts. That's so weird. Something not right with this. There we go. That's better. It's getting a bit weird. Let's go off the ground nice and early.
Airborne time logged.
Didn't do my lights because I didn't actually have a proper runway and now I got penalised. It's really frustrating because the penalty for the lights is just like ridiculous compared to how long it takes to get the stuff. C. Trussy, thank you for subbing. Welcome. He just landed at Boeing Plane Field and there's an A320 and A380 outside. Normally I have my taxi lights on. I taxi to the runway approach and then stop and then change the lights and then go onto the runway. But because it was basically a car park, I lost that whole reminder. Greg P, welcome back. Those weird looking fields again. I do not know what they are. They're so bizarre. Well, I don't really need... The thing is, Neo, that's like literally the first time it's happened in 8 hours, and it's because I took off from a car park. Any good alternatives to Sky Vector? Don't like how the map handles. Sky Vector's pretty good. I don't know. Oh, Leaper, thank you, 42. Is that airfield actually called Over the Top? Wait, Egypt? I didn't think Egypt was in America. Cash? Ooh. I want to go to Cash. Nikki, if I say no, I'm not going to play OMSI 2 ever again, will you stop asking me? Is that a deal? Come to Texas, you can go on a world tour including Paris, Tokyo, and Cairo. That's amazing. Who knew? Is it necessary to use a reverse thrust on the caravan? Nah. If you land at the right speed, the caravan brakes are more than enough, but in the real world, you know, they use the reverse prop just to save the brakes. Because the brake pads cost money, right? The real use of that is when you have to land on short fields, which is what the caravan is very good at. Which is why they use it in, you know, places like the Bush Pilot guy on YouTube. You'll see land in just obnoxious places. I've not considered using the DA62, no. Not for on air and stuff, because the caravans are pretty good like that. How accurate is the game? That is a tricky question to answer. This game is accurate enough for most people. But then when you start delving into the details of the aircraft, given that these are aircraft that come with the game, they're extremely well modelled, but they do have bugs in the avionics and lots of missing things. But over time, you'll find you'll get study level aircraft and then they'll be very detailed. Mapping wise, it's as accurate as Bing Maps. Bing Maps has got places that haven't been scanned for years. But equally it has like photogrammetry, so if you fly over some cities like Milan, you'll find they're ridiculously accurate. So it really does depend where you fly. Do you think they're going to improve all the IOPS from them? Or is this their final models and they will introduce new ones? What, you mean the aircraft? I think they'll bring out new ones. They'll probably mostly leave it to developers now, though. But it depends if they'll probably do deals with people. Like, I'm sure Asobo didn't build the planes. I'm sure they just got Caronado to build them. And then bundled it with Microsoft's. I don't know. Probably do the same thing with other stuff. Can you speak in depth on esoteric little used feature in the sim that Asobo has gotten completely wrong? Sure. Let me tell you all about how the aircon unit doesn't do anything. There you go. That's about as much depth as we need. And it's not even in the checklist. Wait, there's no checklist. Have you been to Machu Picchu in the Nazca Lines yet? I don't think so. Helicopters and gliders are rumoured to be the first big DLC. Nah. I don't think they will. I think you'll get helicopters at some point next year. I think gliders will come much later. How you doing, Ty? Had a fun day? You can't wait till they add seatbelt signs and overhead lights in the Kinga. Oh man, that'll put realism up to like 10. No, I think what it's been said before that, you know, a lot of you can have a lot of fun in this sim right now, but if you're like one of the guys that likes flying IFR airlines, then there's nothing here for you yet, really. It's just not detailed enough for you. Once PMDG comes to the table, then things will absolutely change. Did a tech support, made a few bucks, and now you're eating a massive roast beef sandwich. Sounds like a good Saturday. Will likely come sooner than next year. I would be surprised if we get helicopters this year, but we'll see. Yeah, I would cat straighter. I would excel. I think the next focus will be console release. They'll be fixing the sim, adding things to it, but the next thing will be console. After that, you're probably looking at helicopters. Gliders, I don't think they're on their list yet. What are the keypads on the left and right of the radio stack? Stream decks. You can see maybe better on that one. The stream deck buttons. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Microsoft Flight Sim was always planned to be their major launch title for their new console. They probably knew they didn't have anything massive, and Microsoft Flight Sim was going to be it. And in order to do that, they had to get this out earlier by a few months, and that's probably why we saw it come out in August. When is the new console coming out anyway? What's the release date on that? November. 10th of November. Well, that's not far away. I mean, if they were gonna release this onto that console, they should probably announce it pretty soon. Why is this like swathe of trees here? That's so weird. Yes, I've already ordered the throttle quadrant. Ty, did you order the Bravo throttle quadrant at all? I think I got in on the second wave. Is it real-time weather? Yes. What's the weather there right now? No idea. Wait, can't 4Flight show live weather somewhere? Visibility, temperature, dew point. Composite radar. How do you get to show weather? You didn't order it, you're going to wait that whole setup that just takes so much space on your desk. Fair enough. You want flight category. Right. So how do we get that to show weather now? I'd love to have a kebab, Dave. Now you tap on an airport for the meta. Oh, right, okay. So if I tap on this one. Nearby weather. Broken at 4100. Well, there's nowhere that's displaying live weather if it got broken at 4100. Let's have a look at something nearby. Let's try... Here we go. Sky... Oh, hang on. Sky clear. It says there's sky clear. Maybe it's right then? But Sarah's gone out and left you to fend for yourself. Not sure what she expects from me. She's been to the shop, but the food doesn't cook itself. Dude, what are you even sat here? Get on your Just Eat app and get some food delivered. Is live order still reb? Well, it was working fine for me earlier in the week, but I mean, right now it's saying sky's clear here, but broken at 4100 where we're going. So we'll see. We should transition into something. I ordered a Chinese off the Just Eat app the other day, and I was like, oh, I want to order from a different Chinese and just, you know. So I found one that had like really good reviews. I thought, all right, we'll give it a go. I tell you, it's my new favorite Chinese. This food came and it was so good, and the portions were massive. I was like, that is my new favorite Chinese. So yeah, next time I get a Chinese takeaway, I know where I'm ordering it from now. This month you've bought a 3080, 2 more keyboards, 1,000 switches. Wait, you never bought the 3080, Dave. Get out. You had that sent to you. What's your go-to choice of food? Do you mean for like takeaways, or do you mean just generally what I eat every day? You could probably argue bread. It's my go-to food, considering I have toast or a sandwich pretty much every day. When it comes to takeaway food, I love... I don't know, I like Chinese food, Indian food, Thai food, kebabs, pizza, you know? Pretty much most takeaway food, as long as it's not seafood. I don't like seafood. Wait, you bought one as well? Why do you buy a 3080, Dave? And how the heck, Dave, did you manage to order one when the bots bought every one before everybody else? Papa John's? No, not really. Are you a pineapple on pizza kind of guy? I'm pineapple agnostic on pizza. Like, I can eat pizza with pineapple. I can eat pizza without pineapple. It doesn't really bother me. He was able to order one as well, but didn't do it, Leaky. Well, I don't mind people ordering one if they want one to put in their machine, but people who order them just to sell them at twice the price are really annoying people. But then, if you say to somebody, this is like the quickest way of making $1,000, what are you going to do? How many legal ways are there to make £1,000 in 5 minutes? Because that's what happens if you got yourself a 3080. You wait until February. Fair enough. I think a lot depends on what card you've currently got. Didn't they claim all pre-orders were human? I never saw that claim. I'm not saying they didn't make it, I just never saw that claim. Well, I'm just going to wait for the 4080. And then I'll laugh at you and your 3080. So. See WhatsApp. Oh, have you sent me a picture of your 2 graphics cards, Dave? No, I want a 4095. Let's see what Dave sent me now. Wait, Dave, what on earth is a pallet? A pallet GeForce 3080? What's a pallet? I've never heard of that. It's a brand. I've never heard of this. Pallets are a third-party card maker. Oh, that's how he's got it. He's got industry contacts, and he's got himself a dodgy one. They're like probably make them for other people, and he's got himself a dodgy one. Look, the scenery's a lot nicer this side. Yeah, sneaky Dave, exactly. Just hits up his contacts again. That's how he got one. Palace is the biggest video card producer in the world, like 25% market share. Yeah, see, he's gone direct. That's how he got it so cheap as well. He had a pallet 1080, but it broke after 9 months. Rip. Is a 1080 Ti good if I only care about 1080p and don't care about RTX? Yes. Yes, it's still a very good card. And if you actually look at how many titles have RTX, well, in the sim world, I think that's exactly... is it none or one? I'm not sure. Alright, it's just going to send me one. I do not know. I don't think Microsoft Flight Simulator has RTX support in it yet. Could be wrong. I think Assetto Corsa was supposed to have it. I would laugh if Project Cars 3 had it. Have you heard about Cyberpunk specs? No. I have not. Just wait for Stormworks to have RTX. Lol. Ray trace triangles. Oh dear. Isn't Cyberpunk out in November or something? For that week on release, half of the Twitch streamers will be playing Cyberpunk. I can guarantee you. It'll be like what happened with Fallout. They all played it for a week and then stopped playing it. What happened to Stormworks? Was it too complicated so people stopped playing it? They released version 1 recently. I mean, they're all playing Among Us at the moment. Funnily enough, we was playing Among Us like a month or two ago, like way before it became a meme on Twitch. I'm not a massive fan of the game personally. I think Among Us is a game that's best played with people that you hate or don't like. Because you can be an actual scumbag. Like, I swear that game is going to be responsible for breaking up friendships. It looks fun, but it's not watchable. Oh, plenty of people have been watching it. It's a test of friendships. That's mainly the reason I don't like playing it. Is because it makes everybody be a scumbag. Which is kind of tricky. The Fall Guys, I said, is Fall Guys the one where your characters are like really wobbly and stuff, and you trying to push each other over and throw each other off things? See, I like stuff like that. Yeah, that kind of thing's fun. that kind of thing's pretty fun. There's no malice in that, whereas Among Us is just pure malice. Mr. Aliki, I don't know if I said good evening, but thank you, good evening, sir. For 69 months, and thank you for gifting us up to Jason XR6T. Welcome, Jason. Fall Guys is basically a knockout. Yeah, exactly. It's a knockout is exactly what it is. You haven't seen the toxic players on Fall Guys. Fair enough. Thought we'd see some weather about now. "10-mile visibility clear." This is interesting. Aha, overcast. So, if the live weather is working, in about 50 nautical miles, that weather should definitely be changing. Have you watched Mr. Bean? Dude, I can't stand Mr. Bean. It's just not my thing. What's all the numbers on the rig? That's how many millions I have in the bank. That's how many millions I have in the savings account. That's it. That's just the radio frequencies. If I had 1 million, if I had 500,000, no, if I had 1/10 of a million. Cap my tea. Yeah, that's how many pennies I have. 122.9. Yeah, Rowan Atkinson is a really funny guy, and you know, I watched a lot of 80s comedies with him in it, and he's just hilarious. But Mr. Bean, the character, the thing, just not me. I do indeed, Mr. Fredcap. It's basically leased Venno. Not the 9 o'clock news was funny. Yeah, I know Johnny English. Makes definitely more sense than buying a car from new, which is not a collector's car. Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's we've had this discussion before. Pretty much cars are a money pit. They'll take your money one way or the other. There comes a point in a car's life, if it's that kind of car, where its value will start to go up. But most cars don't do that. Therefore, they're just an expense. And the more expensive car you buy, the more money you waste. So it's a case of, well, how much money you're prepared to waste. Thank you, TikTok. Boats are worse. Well, planes are worse than boats. It's a whole new level of expense. You had a friend buy a brand new Ford Ranger as an investment. Wait, what? It's an AMG C43 M-Corp. Wow, that notification for Jason only just came through. That is so slow today. Planes. Well, planes, the running costs on planes is the problem. See, if a boat breaks down, it bobs around in the water. If a plane breaks down, it falls out the sky. So they tend to have pretty strict rules on maintenance schedules and stuff. And everything in a plane is expensive. Like, how much do you think? If you had to replace this Garmin screen here, how much money do you think that would cost? Yeah, keep going up. Keep going up. I think these panels, it's a G1000, is it? They're like, I don't know, 25 grand each, something like that, maybe more. They're very expensive. Yeah, they're very, very expensive. Probably more than 25, actually. Even just small Garmin screens, like the little GTNs, are like 10 grand and stuff. It's far from a fancy iPad. It's pretty far from that. If you actually look at the back of one of these, they're very modular. They have these like modules in the back that you can plug in. And so if some of the sensors are broken on it, you can pull that module out and replace it with another one. They have to deal with different temperatures and pressures and be reliable. That's where the money is. There's certainly no iPad. And they have to be tested and certified and all the rest of it. So yeah, you can imagine, you know, buying a plane with 3 of these screens in them. Well, you're already looking at nearly 100 grand's worth of screens. Not to mention the other sensors that sit behind all of that. No, Garmin makes a lot of aviation stuff, and they make a lot of money doing it. How much is the insurance on a 172? I don't know, actually. I've never actually tried to get an insurance quote. Denova, it was 100 grand. Its maintenance, it was 100 grand, and then they broke his prop governor. Do you know what? I think I can actually see cloud on the horizon there, which is actually accurate to what we saw looking on 4Flight. That's hilarious. I don't have shared ownership, Joe. I want shared ownership. But I'm still trying to find the right plane for me. I saw a couple of aircraft this week that I inquired about, but they're both gone. Did you get some Garmin screens at Flight Expo? No. I got a something, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a proper Garmin screen. I need to actually dig that out. It's in one of my boxes. Alright, James, have a good one. Lord Snow, thank you for subbing. Welcome. How much to store a Cessna in your area? It depends which airfield. Every airfield will have different rates, and then it's like, do you want it just outside or do you want it in a hangar? I don't have a setup video yet, no. Once you've passed your PPD on a Cessna 172, can you train on another aircraft? Yeah. You don't generally... I mean, I passed on a Robin HR200 and then cross-trained onto a Piper Warrior, then cross-trained onto a 172. Your rating, you have a license, and then you have a rating, like a single-engine piston. But before you can fly a plane, the insurer wants you to be safe, right? You can't just jump in any plane that you're not familiar with. So generally, somebody needs to show you how to fly that plane for a few hours. In the UK, the mostly stuff I've been flying is analog, which is why I'm looking for a share in a plane, because I want something with a bit better avionics. Like the planes I was looking at this week, both had decent Garmins in them, like twin Garmins 650 or 750, I can't remember. One had a G750. One had a G750, the other had two Garmin 530s, I think. They both had autopilot. They both had, they could both do like 150 knots in cruise. Like, they were really nice planes. There's a Cirrus SR22. Sorry, no, a Cirrus SR20 that's up at Cambridge, which has a share. But the problem with Cambridge Airport for me, it's like an hour, just over an hour to drive. And that's a bit far for me. Alright, Dave, have a good evening. Enjoy your kebab. So, I mean, that's another thing I would kind of like to have is an autopilot. Just so that when I go on longer trips, you can relax a little bit, having to hand fly it constantly. Like this, imagine doing this trip now and just hand flying it constantly. No. Steve-O does not own that TBM. It's not, he's just literally hired pilot. You wonder if there's any easy ratio of hours per year. I did it in a spreadsheet, Joe. I worked it out. It depends how many hours you fly per year as to whether it's better to just pay as you go, be in a group share or own an aircraft. But there are tipping points in the hours where it just makes more sense to do the next level. The amount of hours I want to fly next year, it makes more sense to find a group. Steve-O's life looks awesome. What, getting paid to fly a TBM around Florida and stuff? Oh yeah. Where is it we're going? TN12. There's literally no plate at all for TN12. Yeah, he flew the Caravan, didn't he? My favourite video of his was the one where he went to watch SpaceX launch. He did that a few months ago. That was really good. Mark Sterling, have a good one, sir. Just wondering where we're flying over. I'm most certainly not pulling an all-nighter, but I need to reposition the plane so we can do missions in the morning. I wasn't SpaceX. What? The one where he flew to the launch pad? I'm sure it was SpaceX. You just flew from London to Swansea for your new plane with wrong fuel. No, Steve Wonkin Evo, completely different guy. Jackson. Is that we're flying over Jackson? Well, I'm gonna fly next week. I'm planning on flying next week, ship show, and I'm planning on taking the GoPros with me. So if everything works out, then I'll have a video at the end of it. But I've not recorded my flying for a while, so there's a good chance I'll mess something up. Because I've actually got... I used to record my ATC, well, the in-plane comms. I used to split the cable and put it into its own recorder, but what I'm going to do is I bought a cable where it gets the GoPro to record it, and I've never tried it, so this will be a test. This will be a test of the equipment, basically. If it all works, then I'll end up with a video, and if it doesn't work, I'll have to work out why it didn't work. So I'm not promising there'll be a video, because it may go wrong. But if it does work out, we'll have a flying video out of it. Nifty Gareth, thank you for 2 months. Using the GoPro will make syncing the audio easier. Once you finish your PPL and night rating, you will then cross-train onto the PA-28. Then go to Florida to complete some of your hour building, then I can move on to ATPL. Well, you're really going for it, DPH, blimey. Are you going to get your IFR license as well before you go over to Florida, or do it over there? When he flew to Space Coast, the launch was United's Launch Alliance Atlas to Mars. Yeah, you're right, it was. But wasn't it off the SpaceX launch pad? I can't remember, actually. How do you sync audio on a loud plane with hand-off camera recorder? There's always things that you can hear, like the engine start, engine wind down. There'll always be something that will give you a clue. What I normally do is when I turn the cameras on is like clap my hand, and they'll all pick it up, and then you can use that as your syncing point. You're going to do your IFR here. Right, so you're gonna do your PPL and night rating, then do your IFR. Are you gonna then do your commercial and then go and do your ATPL over there? I mean, your IFR over here is like 45 hours, is it, for the full? But some of those can be in a sim, if I remember. It is getting cloudy. It's definitely live weather. Well, just bear in mind, DPH, that the airline industry is taking a bit of a battering right now, so I think 2021, it's going to be a slow recovery. Did you see that the UK wants to test drone flights to the Channel Islands? I think it is. They've got these drone planes, and it'll have supplies on them, and they're just fully automated planes. They look like a plane, but there's no pilot. Put supplies on board, and they just take off and fly to the Channel Islands and land and deliver supplies. They're just waiting for approval from the CAA. It's amazing how cheap flights are. Well, that's because you have to put up with all kinds of tests on your way in and out. You might catch something, and if you do, you're going to be quarantined for 2 weeks. All right, it's going to be like a fight. All right, so it's a long haul thing, fair enough. Hold me live. Thank you for 44 months, sir. Right, feels good. Let's get the local bar out. We should be alright at this altitude, but we're starting to get scattered. I know at the destination they had like an overcast 4100 or something, so I'm expecting the weather to get worse as we get closer. Well, yeah, live weather's working for me. Someone in Bolton came back from Spain and went to the pub crawl, ended up causing loads of cases. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, you Airbus might have something to do with the drones. I don't know who the manufacturer was. How much money do you end up making today? Well, currently, I think I've gone from minus 11k value to like plus 55. But I have some planes on rental at the moment, which I could probably get rid of, the Cessna at least. So I have this rented out, which I use to go and get this. And I have this rented out, and that's what I used to use. That's back at its home base, so I could just unrent that anytime and get back my deposit, which I can't remember how much it was. Wasn't much. This has like a 10 grand deposit on it. But, you know, this needs to get up to 100. I'm kind of getting there. Slowly. Got some big earners today, 21, 14, 19. So the money's gone up. That was the 10 grand I had to put in to rent this plane. So it's going in the right direction. It's just a bit of a slow grind. Is this a new FS Economy thing? Honor is like an alternative to FS Economy, but you have to pay for it. Display. GPS Naxrad. That implies some weather, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I've got one more giveaway. I totally forgot about that. Well, we're definitely staying over the top of it right now anyway. Which is the main thing. Is it a bug, that thing that the weather radars normally do? What do you mean? The weather looks weird. Oh. It's basically like a pod with a radar that's scanning in front of you. Why is it not reverting back to GPS? GPS, like click on GPS and it's not going back to map. There we go. Weather. Ooh. Hmm. And given the wind direction, this is coming this way as well. It's heading westerly. Oof. This is going to be... There's no procedural approach for this airfield. I've got to find it in potentially not great weather. Yeah, the live weather was always working fuzzy. It's just that it was in clear skies. But over here, the weather ain't so great. Oh yeah, let's do the giveaway while I remember. Let's see. So I've got another key to give away for... This is a 1-month key for Honor. It was given to me by the devs. So if you've got an error already and you're on a trial, if you redeem the key, it basically adds a month on top. The airfield's here. So obviously enter if you want to play Honor, but you know, if you don't, just let somebody else have it. Subs have an increased chance of winning, and the keyword is going to be TN12, which is the airfield we're going to. So if you want to enter the giveaway, just put that in chat once, exclamation mark TN12. Just put it in chat once. Any more takes you out. So if you spam it, you're never going to win. Just put that into the chat once, TN12. That'll put you in the giveaway, and then we'll draw the winner in a minute. Wow, it's getting really cloudy now. Look at this. Right, we're 60 nautical away. I'm just going to go for a quick bio break, and then when I come back, we'll draw the winner. Oh boy, it suddenly got cloudy. Holy smoke, look at that. Some quite nasty precipitation where we're landing as well. Not cool. Broken. That's the nearest one, is it? Alright, looks like we've got a ceiling of about 3,000 something. So once we get under that, we'll be reasonably okay. $700-foot elevation though. Alright, well that's okay for visual. Runway 12 and 30 with no wind. We're going on 12, I think. Fun, fun, fun. Right, let's draw this giveaway. Okay. Ready for this? Chris XXL. You've won. Right, Chris, congratulations. You've won a 1-month key for Honor. So what you need to do, Chris, is you need to whisper one of the moderators. Vrome's here. Who else is here? You got Vrome and somebody else. Just whisper one of the mods and then I'll get the key sorted out to you. Nice one. Well done. Mr. Camdev, thank you for 2 months. Okay, we need to climb. Because we're now flying in soup. Let's try and ride the top of the clouds here. That just suddenly gone overcast. That's incredible how in the space of like 50 miles we've gone from completely clear skies to just horrible. Well, we can fly in the clouds, there's no reason why we can't, but it's just not very exciting just having a white screen. The Meta's given AGL. Let's have a look. Well, I guess we'll find out. In theory, when we come down, we'll be fine anyway. You're a student, Alex. Don't worry, dude. When I was a student, I had nothing like this either. When I started doing YouTube, I had a single PC. I think I had one monitor and an Intel i5. That's what I started with. And then I started with a 30 quid USB microphone when I started doing USB. I started doing YouTube. Started with next to nothing. And then every time I got money from YouTube, which was like $50 or something, $30 or $50 a month, I took that money and I put it back into buying better equipment. And then one day I got more than $100 from YouTube. I was like, $100? And then I think I bought a monitor with that. Something like that. I can't remember. I got to think about descending here. The 700 feet elevation, I'll probably go down to about 2,700, which will get us under the clouds, and then we'll see if we can see the airfield. Go for a visual on 1-2. We're currently 8,000. We need to get down to, let's say 3,000. So about 15 nautical to do it. And we're currently 43, but we also need to slow down. Quite a bit. So we'll say about 17, 18 nautical, we'll start descending. Dive through the clouds. I'm going to say 1,700. There are some peaks here of 1,000, so we should be fine coming in at 2,700. No problem. Probably try and overfly it maybe, unless we can get visual early on. It depends how misty it is. You know you like cigars with your $100. As if. If you've ever been a family dad, you'll know lighting cigars with $100 is not something you generally can do. You're doing everything you can to become a pilot. I would just be patient on that. That shouldn't really be a short-term goal anymore. That should be a medium-term goal. It will take years for the aviation industry to recover from this. Oh, that giant Toblerone. That was nuts. Each piece of that Toblerone was the size of my fist. And just trying to break a piece off was impossible. You literally had to use a saw. Curious Orange, thank you for 43 months. Hope you're well, sir. Oh, we're going over Mount Pleasant. Your dad of 4 and the only way you light money on fire is by having kids. Well, that's true, Venno. Yeah, that is true. But people have learned to work from home. And also, it's not just the business. It's not just the. It's the Zoom meetings and stuff. People have gotten used to the Zoom meetings, so face to face becomes less necessary. NSR, thank you for 23 months. I am well. Zoom is the biggest fail in human history. Well, I would actually put Zoom above Microsoft Teams, but do explain what you mean by that, Max. Your eldest is 16 and still doesn't have a clue about what to do with his life. I'll be honest with you, when I was 16, half of the other 16-year-olds didn't know what to do with their life either. I don't think that's changed. A lot of people know what they want to do. A lot of people just fall into something. They kind of just opportunist, you know, just things get steered them. Situations. Using Zoom in the class, the quality most of the time is so bad you can't even see what the professor wants to show us. I don't know if that's a fault of Zoom. I'm sure Zoom has the capability. That could be his camera. That could be the internet. I don't know. Sounds like a bitrate problem. I assume he's using a paid-for version, not a free version. This cloud base is actually getting higher. Eh? We climbed over it and it's kind of going. Yeah, I didn't like Teams. I tried it. I prefer Zoom. Love to be a pilot, but you have hay fever. I don't think they allow that. That's fine. It's not a medical reason. Not, you know, I'm a pilot. I have hay fever. But when they, you know, when you do your medical, they basically say to you, there's only certain hay fever tablets you can take because some of them make you drowsy. $50 nautical in what plane? By default, zoom is not set to the highest quality. Change it to a higher setting and you'll see a huge difference. There you go. Max, try that. Try playing with the settings. In a Skyhawk, 50 nautical. I mean, just 3,000's fine. 3, 4,000. 3.5. It depends where you are. You need to look at your charts as well. Like if you look at the chart, it says that there 1.5, 1,500 minimum. So you got to be above. You got to be above whatever's going on, right? If you work in ATC, you can't have hay fever in case you end up sneezing at the wrong time. What? That doesn't make any sense. You could argue the same thing of the pilot talking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's you. Welcome aboard. I don't think that's a thing, is it? Sneeze once and you're fired. Imagine that. How you doing, Keith? Well, we are gonna have to descend soon and hope the cloud base is as it says. Just got back from apple picking. I hope you're making cider. Do you know what? I've not been fruit picking in a long time. Me and the missus drove past a place. Where was that? I think it was on the way to the East Coast. Yeah, it was. We went out for the day to Great Yarmouth. And on the way, we stopped at a place. And then as we were driving along, there was a big farm on the left that said, pick your own strawberries. I was like, I'm so tempted to do that. I've not done that in such a long time. I said, but the problem is when I go around picking fruit, I end up trying to eat it while I'm doing it. I swear, half the fruit goes in the basket and the other half I eat. And then I kind of feel slightly guilty. I guess it's not such a big problem with apples, but... That's normal. Alright, let's go 2,700 on the way down. Oh, we've got a tailwind now. We had a headwind before. What kind of stuff disqualifies you from flying? Colorblind. You can't be colorblind. Which is like, honestly, I mean, that I feel sorry for people that want to be a pilot and then they're colorblind. There's nothing they can do. But if you can't see red and green, then park in the orchard, set up a table and chill out. Sounds like a good day. Well, if you've got health issues like, you know, I would think diabetes would disqualify you. I don't know. I don't know the details. You'd have to speak to a medical expert on that. If you suffer from seizures, you can't, you know, things like that. Anything that makes you could put you in a position where you can't control the aircraft anymore. Hooch, welcome back. Well-controlled diabetics can be pilots. Interesting. Never knew that. Also, I am not paying any attention at all. Too busy talking, and we've just blasted through our descent point. So now we're going to go full. Okay, I think I'm going to vector us out a little bit and then back into runway 12. Need a bit more distance. Well, not a roller coaster landing, just a bit of a roller coaster descent. It's not so bad, 1,200 feet. It's fine. You go quicker down in a TBM. Found the list on the FAA. Interesting. So what kind of stuff, Joe? Wow, look at that precipitation. Just trying to avoid that. You do 4,000 feet a minute in your... Which plane, though? When you see your cup of coffee starting to leave the table and float, that's when you know you're going down too quickly. Yeah, but your land says experimental. You're allowed to do that. There was a plane... I was at the airfield lid the other day, and there was a plane that I thought was a TBM, but it wasn't. What was it now? It looked just like your... Sorry, a TBM. Looked like your Lancer, and I can't remember what it was. Well, we're coming down through the clouds. You live near Lid? Well, I went there the other day. Bipolar, psychosis, heart issues, epilepsy, pacemaker, substance abuse. Wow. I've not been to Rochester, no. My next destination is Sandwell on the Isle of Wight. I think that'll be quite fun. So we have absolutely zero approaches for this place, so we're just going to have a look at it, and it's a private airfield as well, so it might just be a patch of grass. Looks like we got good fizz anyway. Not anymore, there's not coops. It's probably all shut down. I went to Lid, and that, like, the whole restaurant's gone. It's just not even there. I think we're going to have to overfly this. Otherwise, I won't even know what it looks like. Alright, let me know if you see an airfield. I can see something there, I don't know if that's it. I don't think that's the right orientation. Actually... we'll see. I think the runway was 12, which would go in that direction, not that direction. Chris XXL, thank you very much for subbing. Hope you enjoyed your on-air key. I'm not using eye tracker. I don't use eye tracker. Oh, is this it? This could be it. Right underneath us. That looks like it. Well, this is going to be fun. Trying to get a visual back on this will be fun. That is quite well hidden. That's what I'm concerned about when we loop back again. There it is. Just off that window, I think. It should be 12, so I should be flying the reciprocal right now, in theory. I think it was 700 foot elevation as well, so we're 1300. Right, lights, all good. Trim set, everything's good. See if we can find this thing. That is like completely in amongst the trees.
Hundred.
500.
I think this runway's long enough. Well, we're pretty committed now.
Landing time logged. Landed at Tango November 12, Hajine.
It's actually bigger on the ground than it looks in the air, right? And when you're in the air, it's like, this doesn't look very big. When you get on the ground, it's actually huge. Guess we'll park over here. Or maybe over there. Oh, look at that tree. Somebody dug that tree up.
Engine off time logged. End of flight, registered in on-air company.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Cool beans. We made it. Look. Whoa, it's an illusion. It's outrageous. Let's see if we got paid. Get a bit more XP. 64 grand. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. There you go. Got paid 11,000 for that trip. 64, almost 65 grand. The tech tree in this game is odd. I agree. Not only is the tech tree odd, but the way that XP is like gained or lost, I think definitely needs some adjustment. It's properly strange the way it works. Right then, that's me done. Thank you for watching. I've been live for 9 hours and 40 minutes. It's time for me to disappear. It's almost a 10-hour stream. Thanks to the mods for the overtime, the extra workload there. Sorry about that. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow at 12, I'm going to kick off with some more on air. And we're going to do the missions to try and get some XP. And try and take some cargo as part of the missions. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll do a group flight. I need to go and figure out a group flight for tomorrow. So at 5, we'll do that. If you fancy joining, or if just enjoying watching. But yeah, that is it from me. So yeah, have a great evening, have a great rest of your day, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Take it easy, guys. Love you all. Good night.